The often overlooked new vehicles of World War II were the operational helicopters, used on both sides during the conflict. Though they were few in numbers, they laid down the basics for the post-war helicopters, and some of them were used in many different roles. Maybe the most versatile was a German design, developed from an earlier vehicle, and it was planned to be used in anti-submarine, search and rescue, cargo transport, and reconnaissance roles as well. This was the Focke-Achgelis Fa. So let's see the history of this aircraft. Many countries around the world were interested in helicopters between the two world wars, and Germany was no exception. Many successful and less successful designs were developed at that time. But the first practical usable helicopter was the Focke-Wulf FW-61, which was first revealed in 1936. This design could take off vertically, hover, and had good directional control, and it used the pitch on the rotor blades for the control of the aircraft, just like modern helicopters do. Though only 2 prototypes were built, these showed a glimpse of what helicopters are capable of, and made the Army and especially the Navy interested in the new vehicles. After Heinrich Focke was forced out from the Focke-Wulf company in 1936, the next year he established a new company with Gerd Achgelis to develop helicopters, as the Air Ministry was interested in an improved version of the FW-61. The first plans were drawn up for 2 designs, a training version of the new type, which would have been a slightly larger 2-seat version of the earlier model, and a bigger cargo variant, basically an enlarged version of the FW-61, with similar twin-rotor layout, but bigger size and featuring an enclosed cockpit and cargo bay. This was the Fa-266, the civilian version, which was planned to be able to carry 6 passengers, or same amount of cargo. The German Lufthansa was very interested in the type and ordered it in 1938. But not just civilian use was planned for the new aircraft. Both the German Navy and the Air Ministry were interested in the military applications. The military version of the type received a new designation, Fa-223, and the requirements it had to meet were the ability to carry 700 kilograms of cargo and reach at least 160 km/h speed. The first military modification, the V1 prototype, was finished in September 1939, and after the war broke out, the civilian variant's development was stopped altogether. The prototype went through countless ground tests, as initially it had many problems to work out. One of the main ones was the unwanted vibrations and low service life of the originally planned Bramo 323D engine, which was then changed to the newer 323Q type. After the ground tests and many hours of test flight tests, the first free flight happened in August 1940. 2 months later in October, the prototype was presented at a demonstration flight, where it managed to reach 182 km/h speed and an altitude of 4,880 meters, well above the required numbers. The new helicopter was much bigger than its predecessor, with a length of 12.25 meters and a wingspan of 24.5 meters from rotor end to rotor end. It was similar sized as a light bomber. It had an empty weight of 3,180 kilograms and a maximum takeoff weight of 4,315 kilograms. The helicopter used a single Bramo 323 radial engine, producing 1,000 horsepower. The maximum speed of the production variant was 176 km/h, and its cruise speed was 134 km/h. With 490 liters of fuel capacity, it had a range of 437 km, or 2 hours and 20 minutes of flight time. And it had a service ceiling of 4,875 meters. Some of the production variants featured one 7.92mm machine gun in the nose, and the helicopter had a cargo capacity of around 1,000 kilograms. And if needed, they could carry 2 250 kilogram bombs or 2 depth charges against submarines. The demonstration was very successful, and the Air Ministry had initial plans to order 100 units in 5 different variants. Though the V1 prototype crashed in February 1941 during a test flight, but the V2 was finished soon after. This variant featured a new cockpit design as well. And it didn't take long for the V3 variant to arrive, which was built incorporating the new ministry requirements. By this time, the plan to build 5 different variants was dropped, and one single multipurpose aircraft was needed. The WWII variant was chosen to be used as a base for the production variants. The manufacturing of the new helicopters, however, was very problematic and hampered by the Allied bombings from the beginning. The factory at Delmenhorst was destroyed in 1942 in an Allied bombing raid, together with the units in production and the V2 and V3 prototypes. Though the manufacturing was moved to Laubheim, a year later this facility was bombed too, and only 7 aircraft survived. The finished helicopters were tested and used in various tasks. The V-11 participated in a search and rescue operation in 1944 in Holland, when a Do-17 bomber crashed there, but the helicopter was damaged in the process. The V-14 was sent to help recover the V-11 and the crashed plane. The V-16 was tested in various mountain operations in Austria. This is the actual unit in the background footage you are watching now. It was tested how the helicopters perform at higher altitudes and how usable are they in the transport role. The Fa-223 could easily transport a cannon weighing 840 kg to a position at several thousand meters of altitude, which without a helicopter would have taken 20 men and a day and a half to deliver. The production again was moved to Tempelhof, where though the plans were to establish a production line to assemble several hundred of the new helicopters, in the end only 4 additional units were finished, and only one of them entered service, the rest was captured by the advancing Red Army. At the end of 1944, only 5 of these machines were in usable state. 3 of them were assigned to the 40th Cargo Transport Group, flying supplies to surrounded cities and performing rescue missions. Not only the Fa-223 type flew missions though. In the same unit, they were paired with several of the Flatner FR-2A2 Colibri type. If you want to know more about the history of these small, interesting helicopters, I have already made a video on those, so check it out. After the war ended, one of them, the V-14, was flown from France to England in September 1945 and landed at the RAF Beeley base, making it the first helicopter to cross the channel. The British used the aircraft for test flights to examine the type, but in October it crashed in an accident. At least 1 unit was ferried over to the US, but its fate is unknown. After the war, 2 incomplete units were taken over and finished in Czechoslovakia, and flown under the designation VR-1. In France, with the assistance of Henry Focke, a development of the Fa-223 was built under the name SE-3000 for civilian use. Only 3 of these were built. Though the Fa-223 was built in very small numbers and didn't have a big part in the war, they demonstrated the possibilities of the use of the helicopter in many tasks, like search and rescue, cargo delivery to hard-to-reach areas, and so on. So they definitely earned their spot as one of the most unique vehicles of World War II. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and in the comments let me know if there's any interesting events or vehicles you'd like to see.